Gennady Golovkin announced to fight Steve Rolls in his next fight since the Canelo lost his first loss. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest of boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, shout out to ESPN Plus. You know, the link in the description. I'm an affiliate, helps the channel. Click on that link, you get a 7-day free trial. After that, you know, it's $4.99 a month. Also, the Box Fan Expo, link in the description. Check it out. It's happening in conjunction the same day in Las Vegas as the Canelo versus Jacobs fight, a proper middleweight fight. Speaking of middleweight fights and proper middleweight fights, one that isn't is the recently announced Triple G fight, right? And I got to be candid here. Dazn posted this on their verified page. It's now official. You know, it says Triple G versus Rolls. And, you know, if you look at him, a lot of people haven't even, you know, they're not really familiar with the face, right? But this is him, Steve Rolls. It says Triple G's return to the ring live on Dazn in the United States, Saturday, June 8th, right? It says he's back. Triple G makes his return June 8th in Madison Square Garden against the undefeated Steve Rolls. And they keep saying this undefeated thing. Like, let's break this down. First of all, he is undefeated, but the reality of it is this is not, in my opinion, a proper fight. It's a fight that shouldn't be happening. Steve Rolls has fought mostly at like 165, 168, so really a super middleweight. And now he's fighting his fight. Like, he's been fighting it, actually, if you look at it, he's been fighting the like 67s and 68. So really a super middleweight. And for this fight, I heard he's fighting at a catchweight of 164 or 165, you know. So not only is it a desired, unheralded opponent for Triple G that is not popular in America, that he's fighting in America, and Dazn raised their prices $20 a month, and this is what we're getting. Dazn and Eddie Hearn, you know, keep putting out this narrative that pay-per-view is dead, and this is what they come up with for Triple G's selection. I mean, and you just look from the comments. Jacobs fight was 2 years ago. Cherries. Canelo didn't take no tune-up fights after being off a whole year, did he? You know, Canelo, yeah, and man, this is terrible. Triple G, biggest hype job of the century. You know, I'm just looking, bum bash Triple G. Is he back to spar against this dude June 8th? Get the fuck out of here. Look at these comments. I'm not reading all this. Triple G getting slept. Who the fuck is that? McGregor voice. Come on, Dazn. Are these the type of fights you guys are going to be putting together? Shaking my fucking head. Jose Soto 90 said that. Holy shit, that's a dreadful fight. The bum slayer is back. You know, this is on Dazn's page. Canelo fights nothing but bums, you know. But listen, it doesn't boxing is funny. I told you, you see the emotion. So Triple G's announced fight is not getting great feedback from what I've seen. People are saying Canelo fights nothing but bums, but he's about to fight Daniel Jacobs, which is a whole lot better than this fight. We know who Jacobs is. You know, call it whatever you want. It's still Triple G, and that means money. Thank you, Dazn. See, comments like this, that's not, he says it's Triple G and that means money. Once again, there's this narrative out there that Triple G is like super popular on his own. We'll see, you know, we'll see what this card does. We'll see how much desire there is for that. Let Triple G do what he wants. You're either a fan or you're not. He earned my respect. See, this is like old media type comments, in my opinion, because Triple G's 37. Why didn't people say have the same energy for Floyd Mayweather? When Floyd Mayweather was 41, 42, you know, he retired and he was coming back fighting like Tenshin Nasukawa and Conor McGregor. How come people didn't have the same energy and say, oh, let Floyd do what he wants? Especially when Floyd has proven a lot more than Golovkin has career-wise in terms of who he beat and when he beat them. Can't be any worse than Rocky Fielding. Fielding was the regular world champion. the champion Triple G. Like, I haven't heard anyone saying this is a good fight. Canelo is fighting Jacobs, Triple G is fighting Rolls. See, even the people, that's how you know it's old media, because even the people who are co-signing, they're like, oh, Triple G has my respect, or it's still Triple G, or Triple G has money. You know, they're not saying how this is a good fight. Fuck all that. Tell me one comment that is vouching for Steve Rolls as a competitor against a silver medalist and a once beaten Triple G. You're not seeing that. That's how I know these fans are emotional. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm gonna get off because I don't even need to read this. But, you know, from my perspective, it's not a good fight. In Dazn, they should really stop. Look, you see this pay-per-view? They keep saying rip pay-per-view. Like, this, I don't know. They're doing these like little gimmicks and gags and stuff. And it has Canelo and Jacobs and all these people destroying pay-per-view. They keep pushing this narrative, but I don't see how pay-per-view's dead. You know, how is pay-per-view dead when Triple G fight just got announced and it's being met with horrible. We'll check Twitter. Triple G's back. You know, let's see what people are saying. Who the fuck is that? You know, Roll is ranked ahead of him by the IBF, so I have no problem with the matchup. I don't even know if that's even accurate, but how is he ranked? How is Steve? And see, y'all, these motherfuckers don't be knowing anything about boxing. Canelo gave Triple G a career. Because the other thing is, you guys are going off of like rankings of people you never seen. Look, they got Obama. Look, who's his opponent? Hell yeah. Like I said, tell me if you see one comment. This is the difference between new media and old media. Tell me if you see one comment where somebody is saying Steve Rolls has a chance to win, or they're breaking down the fight. Not just fanboying. Excuse me. Not just fanboying saying, hey, this is good fight or whatever. Someone said, who? With Jimon Hunsu from Thor. The only Rolls I've ever heard of is Rolls Royce. Why is Triple G fighting my stomach? Wow. Jack Nicholson. You know, just look. Wow. Wow, this is pathetic. Andrade offered him a title shot and Canelo said, come back with a belt. And this is what y'all putting on. Triple G is a disgrace to boxing. No wonder Dazn is failing. Wow. Another tomato can for Triple G. How can anyone pretend to be impressed by this? His resume is ridiculous. All he is, you know, I'm not going to read all this extra, like, you know. But garbage fight. All Triple G fights are scrubs. Who the fuck is that guy? Trash. Hey, y'all wildin' with these pictures and shit, bro. Yeah, man. And this is everywhere. Like, we'll see. This, I'm just typing people who probably announced it. Okay, so let's see. This is Mike Coppinger. Okay, let's see what people are saying on his page. Sources: Triple G is set to fight undefeated Steve Rolls. Should have just offered the fight to Mark. Win over the guy that beat blah blah blah. Back to what made him a legend. The bump slayer's back. Golovkin is about to get stopped, dropped, and rolled. Sources is another journalist. Triple G getting his rolls on. Poor opponents. May as well buy a spring roll. Absolutely shocking match. Utterly pointless. Steve Rolls. Honestly, have never heard of him. Same. Look, just look at the fan. Hassan Indam was a better name. Too bad for him. Terrible. He is not even ranking in any sanctioning bodies. Triple G has to do better. Wow, Triple G, really? Steve Rolls. It seems that Triple G doesn't want the trilogy soon. No belt, no trilogy. No one cares. Steve who? Welcome to Dazn. Triple G made a career out of fighting guys like this, so I don't want to hear anyone complain. Venue. Damn, they going in. Sources say this is a shit fight, even for a tune-up. Fucking bums. Fucking hell. The Zero Drama Show. See, bro. This is crazy. Again, like I said, Dazn could keep pushing this pay-per-view is dead narrative, but it doesn't look like anyone's believing that, and it doesn't look like anyone that I'm seeing is really impressed with this. There's a couple of people who sound like they like Triple G, so they're just, rooting him on. But I haven't heard one person out of all of these on Dazn, their Instagram, their Twitter, a reporter outside of me. So I ain't heard no one vouch for the fight. That's what we should be talking about, the matchup, So that's not a good sign. And Triple G claims he beat Canelo. So why is he taking the tune-up of this magnitude? Steve Rolls, if you were to look, Steve Rolls, he's only fought one 10-rounder. He's never fought 12 rounds in his whole life. I don't even know if he has an Instagram. Well, I guess this is. He's never. I don't even really know what he looks like too much. Who's that? Bill Russell looking ass. Kareem? Yeah, I don't know much about his opponent, so this is him, Mr. Rolls. See, I don't even like that nickname, to be honest, Mr. Rolls. That sounds like a Ghostbuster villain, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Mr. Rolls. This is just crazy. And he's fighting at a catchweight. He's never fought outside of Canada primarily, and he's never fought in a 12-rounder before. Like, this is crazy. This is a guy who's fighting 4, 6, and 8 rounders, and he just fought his first 10-rounder and went the full 10 rounds in December. And this is honestly what Dazn is putting on. This is a travesty to me. Triple G could have definitely found someone better, or just move up to the full 68. But it's move up, fight Callum Smith or somebody. Chris Eubank, somebody, Junior. Shit, Chris Eubank Senior, any of them, like somebody. Like, this is just crazy. And I think it's a bad look. Dazn keeps going around, gallivanting around, saying, guess what? They're saying we are the, I don't even know his sparring partners, bro. They're saying that pay-per-view is dead. How are you killing pay-per-view with a matchup like this? You get what I'm saying? And Steve Rolls, like I said, he might be a cool guy, but it doesn't look like he has the experience at all. He fought on Showbox before, but that's a testament to his career. Devin Haney is like 20, 22 or whatever, fighting on Showbox. He's never really fought any marquee name. So, once again, I don't see anybody vouching for the matchup itself. So I don't see how they think they're killing pay-per-view with a matchup like this. This is pretty insane. Hassan Endam, I don't think that would have been a great or big fight too, but at least he's a known middleweight that fought people that we know, like David Lemieux, Peter Quillen, and Curtis Stevens, stuff like this. This, for a silver medalist who's 37, almost 40, is unheard of. Look at Sergio Martinez when he was 37, 40. He's fighting Cottos and Chavez Jr.'s, and Mayweather, when he was 37, was fighting Canelo, who was 13 years younger and undefeated and bigger and supposed to be stronger than him. Shane Mosley even fought Canelo when he was 40, 41 years old. You know what I'm saying? He fighting big ass Canelo. Triple G is encroaching on 40, and Bernard Hopkins, all the Antonio Tarvers and Kelly Pavliks and Tavoris Clouds, Kovalevs. He was fighting them guys 40 to 50 years old. Joe Smith Jr., Kovalev, win, lose, or draw. This is who B-Hop was fighting. And then you have Triple G, and he's fighting somebody that hasn't fought out of, a particular area, who never even fights in 10 rounders at age 35. He only has one 10 rounder in his belt. No 12 rounder. This is like insanity at this point. And then you're really gonna keep this narrative that pay-per-view is dead. Well, we'll see. We'll see how many people. We'll see Triple G star power. I don't think it builds Canelo versus Triple G trilogy. It makes people want to see it. What Canelo and Jacobs is doing does that, but I don't see this really doing that. It's not the proper fight. And the only thing that could come from this is usually bad, because Steve Rolls, people aren't expecting much because they don't know who he is. So if he even looks better than what people thought, then that's kind of a negative against Triple G. That's why the fights like this shouldn't even happen, because Steve Rolls, what if he's actually somewhat good, or if he goes the decision, or doesn't really get hurt by Triple G, or Triple G, you know, certain guys like Malik Scott versus Luis Ortiz. Malik Scott was in there doing enough to survive and make Luis Ortiz not look appealing. You know what I'm saying? So he could be a guy like that, where even if he were to lose, maybe he just makes it an ugly night and a long, you know, that doesn't enhance Triple G's stock at all. And especially since Triple G is a silver medalist, once beaten, former champion, the guy who was claiming, hey, no, guys, I want all the belts. I definitely expect more from a silver medalist and Olympian. Especially, it's disrespectful too to Demetrius Andrade. They have a black WBO champion in the same division on the same platform, and this is who they choose to put Triple G in. That shows me that you are more concerned with matching Triple G lightly to preserve him than you are meaningful fights. So all this Eddie Hearn and Dazn and different people saying, oh, we got all the middleweights and we got this person and this person, none of that matters if you're not willing to match them up with each other. You know, Eddie Hearn's constantly talking about PBC and what they're doing wrong. At the bare bones minimum, they're matching their guys up with other guys. I have sources, they said, and I told you this before, Leo Santa Cruz versus Gervonta Tank Davis is something they're trying to build up for the end of this year. They're giving Tank a hometown fight. Leo's probably going to take an in-between fight, and they're trying to make that later this year, right? You have guys like, who was I going to say? Keith Thurman and Pacquiao, who are in negotiations as we speak. Porter, Spence, as we speak. You know, you just had Spence versus Mikey Garcia. So these guys are at least getting matched up with each other. Yes, all the top middleweights outside of Charlo are with Dazn, but only 2 of them are fighting. Then you have Andrade and Triple G, which would have been an awesome fight to help validate and justify the price hike from Dazn. And then they're putting him in with Steve Rolls. So, you know, all this pay-per-view is dead, and, you know, all this stuff people said about Triple G, oh, Mexican style, he fights for the fans and stuff like that. Where is that at a time like this? If he's fighting for the fans, how can you demand and say that this was the fight the fans wanted when you have an Andrade fight, which would be a title fight, which would, if you are even trying to build Canelo versus Triple G, like I said before, new medium, this would put Triple G in a position, if he beats Andrade, to have a belt he's never had at middleweight, because Billy Joe Saunders had it and they never fought, to have the WBO belt. So now he brings something to the table to fight the Canelo Jacobs winner. And even if it's Canelo told you, get a belt, get a strap, and then I'll consider fighting you. Why not? Why not have a trilogy? But he's not even trying to get a belt, you know, because he's fighting at a catchweight. What belt is he going to fight for? Canelo don't fight at that weight. You know, this is just insane pick. It doesn't justify the price hike. It does nothing. This is, you know, every Triple G's late career, the latest of his career, has been chasing Canelo. That's just really what it is. He's been chasing Canelo, and when he's not chasing Canelo, he's fighting the likes of Vanes Matarosan off of a loss, 154 pounder moving up to 160, coming off a loss to Edislandi Lara, coming off a 2-year layoff in promoter / advisor switch. He went from Al Heyman to Don King, and he only had 2-3 weeks to prepare because Canelo fucked up with the failed drug test, so they had minimal time to stage a fight. And Andrade raised his hand and said he'll step in and fight Triple G. Sergey Derevyanchenko, his mandatory, said, hey, I'll step in and fight Triple G, and he didn't do it. Meanwhile, Sergey Derevyanchenko, we've seen, he's tough. Jacobs knocked him down, and now he's getting the Canelo fight because he fought him for the vacant. And we just seen Jack Kukle, who's a 154 pounder who just recently moved up. He was able to hurt Derevyanchenko several times later in the fight. So Triple G he would have been better off fighting the mandatory and just taking the challenge and hoping he had the skills and stuff to win. I don't know how Triple G is in this like witness protection program in boxing where he just fights whoever he wants and the fans are just supposed to ride with it. But you guys let me know, new media. You know, I told you this was coming, and you know, I just don't think this does much for Dazn, the getting traction. And the messed up thing for DAZN is they keep saying pay-per-view's dead and getting Tracy Morgan to do commercials. That's not helping, because the matchups, I told you from the longest, the matchups are imperative here. And they have some momentum in May, Cinco de Mayo weekend. They're going to have, let's say, World Boxing Super Series. You got Regis Prograis. He's fighting on the night the Avengers drop, so I don't know about the date, but you know, it's still a fight people might want to see. Sorong Vasai versus Estrada 2. Some people might want to see it. Not huge fights, but for hardcores, they should maybe tune into those. Then you have Canelo fighting Jacobs, which is a big fight. Then in June, you have Anthony Joshua, Gerald Miller. Okay. And then now all that momentum is being killed by a fight that people don't really want to see. And I told you guys, the way they staged Canelo Jacobs and Anthony Joshua Miller, they're within 30 days of each other. So you can really, if you buy on May 2nd, then your subscription, you could cancel immediately and your subscription will be good until June 2nd. That's 30 days. Guess what? The Joshua Miller fight's on June 1st. So you can, in essence, watch both DAZN fights for $19.99, you know, and those are probably the best fights maybe that they've even ever put on in terms of big magnitudes and stuff like that. So Triple G's not following them. He's not following those, you know, the Jacobs Miller, you know, is somewhat exciting, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's not horrible. But then it's followed up by Steve Rolls and Triple G. So that's not something that would make you want to get an extension. Like, oh yeah, man, I got to get a whole nother 2 months of DAZN, in my opinion. This is just like out of left field. Like I'd never heard anyone even mention Steve Rolls up until this Triple G situation. So we'll see how it plays out. If you love it, let me know why you love it. Don't just say, oh yeah, it's a great fight. Explain that. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. Just very disappointing from Triple G. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.